Yeah, it was Paul too much celebrating Paul's birthday. All right, I think we're gonna get started. I'm sure there may be other people that'll pop in, but if not, I have your lovely faces this morning joining in. So I'm just gonna mute everyone. If you need to unmute, of course, feel free to. Um, so typically, oh, there's Kathy. Good morning, Kathy. So you don't need anything special this morning, Kathy, just your chairs. And this week Thursday is already Thanksgiving. And so I like to do this week to have a focus on that's Amara. Did you see Amara's face? She's peeking through. To have a focus on this, a cultivation of gratitude. So this feeling and sense of being grateful. If you read newsletter, if you have access to, if I send you our Breath Trek newsletters, which I've been sending out monthly since just October. This month I did a piece on gratitude and the practice of gratitude and how to maybe perhaps cultivate it or incorporate certain things that might bring a sense of gratefulness and gratitude. So if you read the article, or if you didn't and you would like to, on my website, there's on our website there is a link to the newsletter, and you can check that out if you'd like to. But for class today, we're going to incorporate this idea and this cultivation of gratitude, being grateful. This doesn't mean that there's a disregard for the things that we may be struggling with, or if we're in a rough time in our lives, or we're in a period of suffering. Doesn't mean that we disregard those things or we push them down or push them aside. It just means that we give a little bit more of an attention and awareness to the things that we do feel grateful for or that we are thankful for. And those things may be very small or may seem very small. But if we have an attentiveness towards them, we can notice and identify that those things actually do have a deep sense of meaning, and can be inspiring and uplifting, to bring us a deeper sense of peace within our day-to-day living. So I'm going to have us sit in our chairs in a comfortable position. And I think this morning, of course, you can rest your hands on your lap if that's what you prefer. But I'm going to take one hand over my heart center and the other hand on top of that. And we can begin to just allow ourselves to settle in. Taking a few moments to just notice how you feel physically. Just being attentive and noticing. And then draw your attention to your psycho-emotional being, observing any thoughts, any emotions that you may be experiencing. Notice the beating of your heart beneath your hands. And then allow yourself a few moments to be present with your breath. Noticing, being attentive. And perhaps you can begin to cultivate a sense of gratitude and thankfulness for the breath that flows in and out, for this life force energy that fills you. Maybe give yourself a few moments to reflect on anything else that you may be grateful for. And it's okay if you can't think of anything. You can just allow yourself to hold space for it. Hold space for cultivation of gratitude. Maybe with each inhaling breath, you feel or sense that gratitude growing, or that space for gratitude growing. Maybe be present here for just a couple more breaths. And then slowly in your own time, let the palms of the hands join together at the heart center in Anjali Mudra. And give yourself a moment to set any personal intentions, dedications, or prayers that you may have for your practice this morning. Or again, hold that space for cultivation of gratitude. Bring a full deep breath in through the nose, and as you do, let the arms begin to rise up. And then as you exhale, separate the hands and slowly float the arms down. You can rest the hands on the lap. And taking a breath in, let's bring our shoulders forward and up. Now as we exhale, let's loop them back and down. Inhale, breathing in through the nose, shoulders come forward and up. Exhale, you can breathe out the mouth if you'd like, shoulders go back and down. Maybe we'll do that again. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, loop them back and down. And just notice the connection that you're having with the floor, the earth beneath you, the chair you're sitting on. Notice the natural length of your spine. This opening through the heart center and arising up the crown of your head. And then taking your time, shift yourselves forward in your seats. And as you do, I'll move myself back. So let your ankles fall below your knees, anchor down through your feet. Hands can be on top of your lap, sit up nice and tall. And because we're doing this cultivation, kind of having a presence with gratitude, we're going to work through our chest and heart area, which we typically do anyway. But again, we can just give ourselves a little bit more of a focus in that area, perhaps. Maybe notice any sensations or feelings that maybe you haven't noticed in the past. So let your spine be nice and long and tall without any rigidity or stiffness. Feel that openness. And then we'll come through some seated cat-cow. So when you're ready, on an inhale, shift your hips back slightly, open through your chest and heart. Your gaze will rise a bit. Keep the shoulders coming down. And as you exhale, come back through that neutral place. Let the hips shift slightly under, round your spine, and gaze draws down. Good, and we'll follow the breath. Inhale, rising up and opening. Exhale comes through and we round. A few more times. And one more time, rising up and opening. And as you exhale, let yourself come back to that neutral spine. And taking our time, we did this last week, we're going to tuck our chin in towards our chest and let ourselves round down. So vertebra by vertebra, slowly take your time just rounding yourself. You'll eventually come to a point that you just kind of settle into. And you can take, once you get there, you can take a full deep breath in and out. And then slowly allow yourself to round back up. Chin is towards the chest as our heads rise up last. We'll sweep our arms out and overhead. Exhale, palms touch, and the hands draw down to the center of the chest. Good. Take a few moments, tap the thumbs, the inside or the outsides of the thumbs, kind of in towards in towards your heart, that notch. Wake up any blocked kind of energy or anything that might be held or stored there. Keep breathing in and out. And let that movement stop. Just rest the outsides of the thumbs in towards the chest. Take a breath in. Filling you up, and as you exhale, releasing out. Slowly release the hands and lower them back down towards your lap. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let's release our right ear towards our right shoulder. Have a little length, left side of our neck. And then on another exhale, allow the chin and head to slowly release on a slight diagonal. And then on another exhale, allow the chin to come down towards the center of the chest. And on an inhale, we can bring the head back up. And as we exhale, we'll lower our left ear towards our left shoulder. And on another exhale, allow the chin and head to release on a slight diagonal. And on your next exhale, chin down towards the center of your chest. And bringing our heads back up. Good. Release your arms, lower them down by your sides. Feel that energy flowing down from off the tops of your shoulders, through your upper arms, forearms, palms, and out the fingers. Slowly turn the palms up towards the sky. You can feel that kind of automatic opening through the heart and through the chest here. And then on your next inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, float them down. Inhaling, sweeping them up. Exhale, letting them float down. Inhale, sweeps our arms overhead. This time as we exhale, let's lower just our left arm down to the left side of our chairs. Inhale, root down through the feet and our sitting bones. Lengthen up through your right side. And as you exhale, maybe lean over to your left a bit. Turn your head and gaze in a direction that feels comfortable. It may mean maintaining a gaze straight forward, or you could turn your gaze down, or you could slowly allow your head to rotate up towards the sky. And on an inhale, sweep your left arm back up overhead. As you exhale, let's let our palms touch and our hands begin to draw down to the center of the chest. And they're going to continue on. They'll just take a brief pause at the heart. And then release, lower them down to your lap, and we're going to round ourselves down. Crown of the head, and then chin tucks in, and we slowly round ourselves forward. Finding that place that you settle into, taking a full deep breath in and out once you get there. And then taking your time, find your way back up. Head rises last as we sweep our arms out and overhead. Palms touch, hands draw down to the center of the chest. Release the arms down by the sides. Feel that energy flow. When you're ready, rotate the palms up. On an inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, lowers them down. Inhale, sweeps our arms overhead. Exhale down. Arms rise overhead. This time as you exhale, let's just lower our right arm down to the right side of our chairs. Inhale, root down through the feet and our sitting bones. Lengthen up through that left side. And as you exhale, keep rooting down through the sitting bones. Lean over to your right. Find your head and gaze position that feel is most suitable for you. Feel the sides of the rib cage opening, making more space. And then on an inhaling breath, sweep your right arm back up. Exhale, the palms touch. Hands begin to draw down. They'll pause for a moment at the heart. And then they can release down to our laps. And again, from the crown of the head down, begin to round yourselves forward. Once you get there, your full deep breath in and out. And then taking your time, rounding yourself back up. Head will rise last as we sweep our arms overhead. Palms touch and hands draw down to the center of the chest. Good. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, lower the arms down to catch hold of your right leg. Support it however you'd like. Lift however you want. Maybe you're just lifting your heel here. Maybe you don't want to lift your leg this morning or today. If not, you can, if you're lifting it, you can support behind the thigh or to the shin, whatever you'd like to do. And then on an inhale, we'll let the shoulders release down, lift the heart up, gaze will rise up a bit. As we exhale, we'll come back through, tailbone shifts slightly under, our spine's round, and maybe our forehead comes a little closer towards our knee. Good. Inhale rises back up and opens. Exhale comes through, and we can round a bit. A few more times. One more time, rising up, opening through the heart. And then as we exhale, come back to your neutral place. That's nice and tall. And carry the leg out to the side, out to the right. And just pause here for a moment. Maybe turn your gaze, your head over towards your left shoulder. And then slowly bring the leg and the gaze back to center. Good. At this point, you can either just lower the foot down, or if you'd like to, send your foot forward, extend the leg out. Good. Engage through your core here. Feel the length and the strength of your leg, the strength of your core. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly lower the heel down towards the floor. Toes are up to the sky. Let's crunch the toes in. Squeeze them in nice and tight in towards each other. And then spread them, send them back out. Spread them nice and wide. And then crunch them in. And then spread out. And maybe one more time, crunching in. And then spreading out. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let's slowly hinge from our hips and bring our chests forward. Good. Just that naturally lengthened spine as you come forward. You'll find your edge, a place, kind of bring yourself into that point where the body just says, yep, that's it. Taking your time, we'll make our way back up. Foot comes to the floor, and we'll slide it back in. Good. Sweep your arm up. As you exhale, lower the arms, catch hold of the left leg this time. Support it however you'd like. Lift it, don't lift it, whatever works. Gonna take a few moments adjusting, finding your place. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, lifting up, opening through the heart, gaze will rise a bit. As you exhale, come back through. Tailbone will shift slightly under, we'll round a bit. Forehead can draw a little closer towards the knee. And you'll just follow your breath here. Good. One more time, rising up and opening. And as you exhale, come to your new. And we'll take our time carrying the leg out to the left or sliding the foot out if it's on the floor. And we can begin to turn our gaze over our right shoulder this time. And then bring both back to center, gaze and leg, either lowering your foot down or sending the leg straight out in front. Take a moment. And then on an exhale, lower the heel down towards the floor, toes up to the sky. Let's crunch the toes in a bit. And then spread nice and wide. And then crunch them in. And then spread. And one more time. Good. And then full deep breath in. As we exhale, hinge from your hips and send your chests forward. Remember to keep that softness in your knee. Don't jam back in it, but feel the length of your leg, your whole left leg here. Slowly we begin to rise back up. Our foot comes back to the floor and we slide it in. Good. Step your feet apart. Toes turn out a bit, anchor to the outer edges of your feet. Hands can rest on top of your knees or your thighs. Let's lift the heels here. So just begin to lift both heels, lifting and lowering. Good. The next time both heels are lifted, take a moment, take a breath. And then release the heels back down towards the floor and circle your torso. Pick a direction, sweep your sound. And when the torso comes back forward, slight pause and sweep yourself in the other direction. Good. Come back around, pause. And then bring yourself back upright. And we're going to round down here. So from the crown of the head, start and then tuck your chin in and then slowly round yourself down. Again, you'll eventually find a place that you just settle into. And once you've found that place, you'll take a full deep breath in and out. And you can slowly begin to round yourselves back up. Walk the feet back in towards each other. Good. All right. So we're going to prepare ourselves to move through and transition through space to eventually come to stand directly over top of our feet. Your choice in how you want to do this morning. We can do our chair pose and then lower back down and go through that a few times. If you don't feel like lifting your hips out of your seat at all until eventually you come up to a stand, that's fine. Just remember that you're grounding the feet into the floor, into the earth. You're activating your legs, and you're creating this engagement through your whole core to help support you to create that foundation and that place of solidity and stability in the body. So have your feet the distance they'd like to be, sitting up nice and tall. When you're ready, you can begin to shift your chests forward. If you're using your arms, they'll come forward. Otherwise, they stay on to the chair. Root down through the feet. If you're lifting your hips, lift them up. And then we can lower if they're lifted. And we bring ourselves back to that upright position. And we just follow this a few times, moving through at our own pace, our own rhythm. Being grateful for the ability to move through this movement in whichever way we're doing. Good. And then we'll bring ourselves up, maybe finding a chair pose. If you don't wish to find chair pose, just rise up to your stand. If you're finding your chair pose, remember your hips are kind of seated back towards your heels a bit. You're engaging through your core. As your chest is lifted, your heart is open, shoulders release down. Feel that connection. Take a moment there. And then slowly root down through the feet to begin to rise up. Let the heart open a bit. You can spread the arms, lift the chest. And then we can slowly let the palms of the hands join together and come down to the heart. We take our moment here, just being present. When your arms down by your sides. Good. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, lower them down. Let them float down. Inhale, sweeps the arms overhead. Exhale, floats them down. Inhale, sweeps the arms overhead. This time as you exhale, you're going to lower your arms down and you're going to bring them back behind you. And we're going to let the palms of our hands come to our low back. The heels of the hands will probably come about to the shelf of your hips as your fingers point down. With your hands there, see if you can draw your elbows back behind you or encourage them to do so. Press the hands into your low back, and as you do, send the tops of your thighs forward and let the heart lift. Good. Slowly come back. Arms can release down by your sides, and we're going to do our round down from here. So crown of the head, and then the chin tucks in. Our knees are going to be nice and soft. We're going to slowly take our time, vertebra by vertebra, finding our way down till we get to our point. So your hands may be to your knees, to your shins, to your ankles, to your feet. Maybe some of you can get your hands to the floor. And when you find here, you're going to take a deep breath in and out. Actually, let's do 3. So do 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly, with the knees nice and soft, take your time and round yourself back up. Head will rise last. You'll sweep your arms out and overhead. Palms touch and hands draw down to the center of the chest. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweeps the arms out and up. As you exhale, arms lower down and bring them again back behind you. The fingers are going to point down. Heels of the palms will go to about the shelf of your hips as you bring the elbows back behind you. Send the tops of the thighs forward, lift and open through the heart. On an exhale, take your time coming back. Arms can release down by your thighs, to the sides of your thighs, and round yourselves back down. Find that place that you settle into and take your 3 full deep breaths in and out. After your third, take your time, begin to round back up. Sweeping the arms overhead. Palms touch and hands draw down to the center of the chest. Good. Release your arms down by your sides. And then go ahead and walk behind your chairs. Take your time. Maybe shake your legs out a little bit, shake your arms, just kind of give them a little shake. Move through the feet, the heels. You could circle one foot around a couple of times and then the other. Good. All right. And then behind your chair, go ahead and come to a mountain pose. Feet are about hip distance apart. Anchor down through all 4 corners of your feet. You can let your arms, actually, let's bring your hands to heart center. Yeah, there's attention to this area. So go ahead and bring the outsides of the thumbs, press them in. Take a moment. And then when you're ready, on an in-breath, sweep your arms out and overhead. As you exhale, let's lower the hands down to the top of the chair and begin to walk our feet back. Good. Finding our lengthened spine. We'll take a moment here. We can find some movement. We could bend one knee at a time, shift our weight, shift our hips. Just feel the length of our spine, length of our legs. Even if our knees are actively bending here, we can still feel the length. And then after some movement, go ahead and just settle in. Feel the flow of the breath, filling your heart. Good. And now you either have the choice. You could walk your feet back in towards your chair, or shift your gaze a little bit more forward towards the chair. And you're going to pick up your right foot to step it forward, leaving the left back behind you, coming towards a high lunge. So your left heel is going to pop up if you're doing this. The right knee is bending. You're going to give yourself a little time in this high lunge here. Feel the opening of the front of the thigh, front of the hip flexor. Soften that left knee, push off the toes of the ball of the foot, and step the left foot in. Good. Shake the legs out. Move through the feet. And then again, find your mountain pose, hands together at the heart. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and overhead. As you exhale, lower the hands down to the chair. Walk your feet back. If you'd like your feet wider apart, you can walk them so that they're further apart, giving yourself a little bit of a wider stance this time. Find some movement. You can feel any shifts in the body in comparison to having your legs closer together if they're now further apart. See how this feels. Does one feel better than the other? And then after some movement, just let yourself settle in, finding that space, following the breath. See if you can feel the breath in the heart, front and back. And then if your legs are wider apart, slowly step them in closer to each other. And again, you can just walk those feet back in towards your chair, or bring your gaze a little bit forward, see where that foot's going to go. You're going to begin to pick up and step the left foot forward. Finding a high lunge, the left knee is bending over top the ankle or slightly behind. Right leg is back behind you, the heel is up. Give yourself a moment. And then soften that right knee to push off the ball of the foot or toes to step it in. Beautiful. Shake the legs out. Nice. All right. Spin your chair. Seat will face us now. And we're going to put our hands on the seat, about shoulder distance apart. Wrist creases can fall below the shoulders or be forward of the shoulders. Find the distance that you'd like your feet apart, typically hip distance. Knees are soft here. And then notice your shoulders. Let them draw back away from the top of your ears. Create more space there. Shifting the hips a little bit for a few moments, kind of swing them side to side. You can keep your head neutral, or you could turn your head and your gaze to go in the direction that your hips are moving. And then come back to center, and we'll find our cat-cow here. So neutral spine at first. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll soften the belly down. Open through the heart, gaze rises. Here's our cow. Exhale comes through, neutral, and then shift the hips slightly under. Our spine will round, gaze draws back. And we can move through this a few times. Good, and then on your next exhale, come back to your neutral spine. And then take your time and make your way up towards a stand. Sweep your arms overhead, palms touch, hands draw down to the center of the chest. All right, so we're going to come into our sun salutations now. But we're going to do a little variation with the arms. Most of you may be familiar with it. Maybe some of you won't be. But I'll show you that first before we go into it. So typically we just bring our arms up overhead and then we fold forward to come down to place our hands on the chair. But what we'll do this morning is kind of going along with this theme of gratitude and cultivation. We're going to bring our hands out in front. And you're going to make a cup with your hands. So you'll let the sides, the insides of the hands, the insides of the pinky fingers, and the sides of the palms draw together and make kind of a well, a cup here. And the arms are extending out. And kind of the visualization, at least for me, is that I'm imagining I'm being open to receive. So in this case, it could be anything, but in this case, I'm having this presence and attentiveness to cultivation of gratitude. So I'm opening to receive gratitude. And then what we do is we bring that in towards the heart. So our hands kind of cup in towards the heart. And you can even bring the fingertips to touch towards your heart center if you'd like to, and let them kind of just cup over the heart center. And we just pause here for a moment. And what that allows for is for this, again, cultivation and nourishment of gratitude. And then the fingers begin to slowly work their way down and point down. And we bring them down. So this is kind of like ourselves, what I think, again, is digestion of that. So we're letting this really cultivate, assimilate into the body. We're nourishing this aspect of gratitude. And once that aspect of gratitude is nourished and built within us, we can then send it back out to touching here. And they rise up overhead. And as we do, and we through the heart and the arms float down, and then we come forward. Okay, so that's the arms that we'll do for each of the sun salutations. Pretty simple, has a lovely kind of meaning and visualizing aspect to it. Again, you could visualize anything. You could visualize joy. You could visualize the gifts that you have being nourished and then sent back out. Many things, but kind of keeping in this theme of gratitude. That's what my intention is today. So, all right, take your moment in your mountain pose, hands together at the heart. Maybe holding space for gratitude here, creating more space. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the arms forward again. You're going to cup the hands in front, making that well, that openness to receive, whatever it is, it's gratitude. And then draw it in towards the heart. Fingertips can touch. You can pause for a moment. And then turn the hands in, backs of the hands. The arms begin to go down. And then they sweep out to send that gratitude out to others as the arms rise overhead. We open through the heart. And then here we keep our knees nice and soft, hinge from the hips, and bring our chest forward. Take your time stepping your feet back. Finding your downward facing dog here. You can invite movement. And then settling in, following the flow of your breath. And when you're ready, shifting your gaze towards your chair. Walking the feet back in. Take your time, rising back up. Sweep your arms overhead. Arms touch. Hands draw down to the center of the chest. Good. 2 more times at your own pace here. And just pausing once you've finished for a moment or two. And then go ahead and take your time. Release your arms down by your sides. And then make your way back to sit in your chairs. And let's come actually right to sitting back in them. And you can either, depending on what type of chair you have, I have the kind that has the metal sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my thumbs around the sides of my chair and bring my elbows back. If you are not seated in a chair that's like this at all, you could maybe shift yourself a little forward and bring your hands to the sides of your chair. So we're going to lift our heart here. I'm going to use the sides and the back of my chair to help me with this. But you might not have a chair that's like that. So you can situate yourself that works for you. So I'm hooking my thumbs. They're on the insides. I let my elbows come back, point to the wall behind me, and then I lean back in the back of my chair. Let my heart lift. Remember that just keep your head as a natural extension of your spine. Don't fling it or flail it back at all. And then slowly release, coming back up. You can release your arms to your hands to your lap. Release your arms. Take a breath in, circle the shoulders forward and up. Exhale out, releasing the shoulders back and down. And again. And one last time. And allowing yourself to just settle back in your chair. You can start out like we began. If you want to place one hand, you can end the way we started. And then the other over the heart, the hand, the heart. You can take notice how you feel physically after your practice. And you can just enjoy these few moments. And then when you're ready, allow the palms to touch the heart center in Anjali Mudra. You can invite a soft bow of the head towards the heart here. May I be well. May I be happy and content. May I be free from danger and suffering. May I be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be happy and content. May you be free from danger and suffering. May you be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy and content. May all beings be free from danger and suffering. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. And we can join together in a unifying chant of Om. Exhale out and draw a full breath in. Shanti. 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 Peace. The light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in each of you. I am grateful for you for sharing your practice with me. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I wish you a peaceful Thanksgiving. And so there's no class on Thursday. except I think I mentioned this. If you are interested in joining us for the mudra meditation, we will be doing that, but it is at 8 a.m. So um, feel free to log in if you're up and you want to join us. If not, have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you all next week. So thank you, Helen and Alice and Carol and Lynn and Kathy and Paul. Is Paul there? Yeah, good. I could see part of his arm. Paul, how was your birthday? Yes, tomorrow. Good. It was good. Oh, wait. Ooh. Surf and turf. They're all saying hi to you, Amara. What's that? Yes. Yes. Oh,
What
I love.
happened? What?
I knew she was definitely. She definitely. I knew she was up there in age. Oh, she was. Uh,
What?
I don't know any of her family. I just remember. Oh my gosh, she was so sweet, and she would look for book recommendations, like the Mark Nepo book she bought for her grand. And
Mommy, what happened?
yeah, she was such someone. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I take a bath?
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Wow. She was such a joy to have at the library. She's so sweet. And she came all the time. She participated, and yeah, she was really. uh Yeah, we'd see her. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Okay. Oh, neat. Well, she touched my life. Tomorrow, Carol. Yeah. All right. See you tomorrow, Carol. Bye.